What if I told you the most natural-looking lawn in tennis is actually the most difficult to play on? You see that perfect green lawn and think elegant, classic, and the perfect environment for a competitive matchup. Beneath that picture-perfect lawn is chaos, skidding balls, crazy bounces, and a game that tests your reflexes more than a game of Simon Says. Today, we're cutting through the surface to reveal the science, strategy, and secrets of grass court tennis. And if you love deep dives that break down the sports you care about, hit that subscribe button. You will not want to miss what we have in store. What exactly is a grass court? First off, a professional grass court isn't the same as your backyard lawn, not even close. They grow this stuff like it's gold, perennial ryegrass, tough, dense, and trimmed to exactly 8 millimeters daily. No joke. Underneath that perfect green top layer is a firm foundation of soil and clay, packed down to create a hard, consistent surface. However, the most important thing to know about a grass court is that it's the fastest surface in tennis, by a long shot. And the reason why is surprisingly simple. The skid, where it all goes sideways. Grass courts are slippery devils. The ball barely touches down before it's gone, like hitting a greased-up slip and slide. On a hard court or a clay court, the tennis ball grips the surface for a split second when it lands. This friction slows the ball down and helps it bounce up. But on grass, the blades are so smooth and slick that the ball doesn't grip at all. Instead, it slides or skids across the top. This skid does two things. First, it means the ball doesn't lose much speed after it bounces. A 120 mph serve will still be moving incredibly fast when it reaches the other player. Second, the skid keeps the ball from bouncing high. The ball stays low, often below a player's knees. This completely changes the sport. Rallies on grass are very short. Data from the Pro Tours shows that the average rally at Wimbledon lasts only about 3 or 4 shots. Compare that to clay, where rallies can easily go over 10 or 15 shots. On grass, you have almost no time to react. The dance. Why players look so awkward. Because the ball is moving so fast and bouncing so low, players have to move in a totally different way. On a hard court, you can run, stop hard, and plant your feet to hit a powerful shot. On grass, that's not so simple. The surface is just so much more difficult to plan on. Trying to slide on grass like you do on clay is a great way to end up on a blooper reel. Therefore, players have to learn a new kind of footwork. They take hundreds of small, choppy steps to stay balanced and keep their center of gravity low. They have to be ready to change direction in an instant. The best grass court players look like they are gliding just above the surface, always balanced and ready for the ball to come at them from a strange, low angle. The big weapon, the serve, changes everything. On a slow surface like clay, a big serve isn't always a huge advantage. But on grass, the serve is a true weapon, a key to victory. One well-placed serve and the point's basically over. Players often use a flat serve, which has very little spin. When a flat serve hits the grass, it skids through the court like a stone skipping on water. This gives the returner a fraction of a second to react and makes it extremely difficult to hit a good shot back. This is why players with massive serves like Pete Sampras or Goran Ivanisevic were so dominant at Wimbledon. They could win tons of free points just from their serve. It also brought back a classic tactic called the serve and volley. This is where a player serves the ball and immediately runs to the net. Their goal is to volley the return back before it even bounces, ending the point quickly and taking advantage of the quick surface. On any other surface, this is a risky tactic without the right approach shot. But on grass, it can become almost unstoppable. The court that fights back, the unpredictable bounce. Here is where grass gets really tricky. A brand new grass court at the start of a tournament is fast, but the bounce is usually true. However, grass is a living thing, and it wears down. After just a few days of players running, stopping, and sliding, the court starts to change. The area around the baseline, where players stand most of the time, gets worn out. The green grass dies, and all that's left is hard, packed dirt and roots. By the second week of a tournament, the baseline isn't lush green grass anymore, it's a worn-out patch. When the ball hits this area, the bounce becomes completely random. It might skid low and fast like it's supposed to, or it might hit a clump of dirt and kick up unexpectedly. Players not only have to battle their opponent, but at times they have to battle the court itself. The secret shot: why slice is king. If you're a player who loves to hit with heavy topspin without any other shots in your locker, grass is likely your worst nightmare. Topspin works because the forward rotation of the ball grips the court and makes it kick up high. But as we know, grass has almost no grip. A heavy topspin shot that would be a weapon on clay just fizzles out on grass. It skids and bounces low, turning your best shot into an easier ball for your opponent. But there is one shot that becomes a secret weapon on grass: the slice. A slice shot has backspin, which makes the ball float through the air and stay low after it bounces. On grass, this effect is magnified. A good slice shot on grass barely bounces at all. It skids and stays so low to the ground that it's almost impossible for the other players to dig it out. Players like Roger Federer and Ashley Barty built their careers on grass by mastering this one. It's a simple-looking shot, but it has knee-wearing effect. Before we get to the hidden factor that changed grass court tennis forever, if you're finding this breakdown useful, do us a favor and hit the like button. It really helps us know what kind of videos you want to see more of. So we think of Wimbledon as this timeless place where the traditions have been the same for over 100 years. The all-white clothes, the strawberries and cream, the green grass. But what if I told you the grass under Roger Federer's feet was a totally different beast than the grass under John McEnroe's? The biggest change to modern grass tennis didn't come from a player or a racket, it came from the groundskeepers. All right, that secret? It's literally in the seeds. This is the hidden twist that explains why the game on grass looks so different today than it did 30 years ago. For most of its history, Wimbledon's courts were made from a mix of two types of grass: 70% perennial ryegrass and 30% creeping red fescue. That fescue grass was very fine and delicate. It made the court soft and caused the ball to bounce even lower and faster. This was the era of pure serve and volley tennis. But in 2001, Wimbledon made a huge change. They switched the courts to 100% perennial ryegrass. This new type of grass is much tougher and more durable. It grows more densely, creating a firmer and more uniform surface. So what did that actually do to the game? The ball on this new grass bounces a little bit higher and a little more predictably than it did on the old stuff. It's still very fast, but that slightly higher bounce gives players a tiny bit more time to react. It was just enough of a change to give baseline players a fighting chance. This is a huge reason why a player like Rafael Nadal, who grew up on the slow clay courts, was able to adapt his game and win Wimbledon. On the old, faster grass, his topspin-heavy game might not have worked, but on the new, more durable grass, he could survive from the baseline. The twist isn't just about the grass being fast, it's about how it is fast. And this small change to the grass itself opened the door for a whole new generation of champions. The modern game and the mental battle. So today, you see fewer players using the pure serve and volley style. Instead, modern players use a mix of tactics. They'll hit big serves and try to end the point in the first few shots, but they are also comfortable playing from the baseline if they have to. A player like Novak Djokovic has become one of the greatest grass court players ever, not because of a huge serve, but because his footwork is perfect and his defense is so good that he can handle the low, unpredictable bounces better than anyone else. But the biggest challenge on grass is the mental game. Because the points are so short, you have no time to get into a rhythm. A moment of lost focus can cost you a whole game. A lucky shot or a bad bounce can change the entire match. The players who win on grass are the ones who can stay calm, accept the chaos, and focus intensely on every single point. So, from the 8mm blades of grass to the dirt hiding underneath, grass court tennis is a sport of tiny margins. It's a throwback to the history of the game, but it still demands modern athleticism and mental toughness. It's no wonder the grass court season is so short. It's just too intense, too unpredictable, and too difficult to master for more than a few weeks a year. Did this look into the green carpet of tennis blow your mind? We have more stories about the hidden science and strategy behind your favorite sports coming soon. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you don't miss our next video. For now, thanks for watching. As per usual, we will be back with more fiery forehands, backhands that don't come back, and those unmissable moments in the ATP and WTA.